I wrote it kind of spontaneously while I was on the train traveling across India. So here it goes. And so there's a little bit of Hindi in it. If you follow along in the PowerPoint, I've translated the Hindi words in English in brackets. So the first poem is called I Like My Chai with Extra Ginger. Okay, here it goes. I like my chai with extra ginger. Mera naam Olvie hai. I'm from Canada, eh? Chai became a fad in Canada, almost as popular as cannabis. You cannot get nearly as high. We only make it with masala chai. The West is getting bored of whiteness, perhaps forgetting its politeness, appropriating all that is colorness. Huh, acha, theek hai. Canadians say chai tastes like Christmas because they make everything a business. Others say, it's too spicy, my dear. Please bring it back at New Year's. Mehendi is sold as henna tattoos at carnivals. Bindis are placed on foreheads at festivals. Do we want to know Indian culture or just eat it up like hungry vultures? Huh, theek hai, acha. Canada is a free country, they say, but the youth are silenced day by day. India is a growing democracy, but are the youth going to fight against democracy? The young are growing more and more aware. Bigger, better, stronger. Let's not grow weary with our prayers. Huh, theek hai, acha. Uncle sets up his chai stand around the corner. He always makes it with extra ginger. I take Instagram photos like a food pornographer. I am Canadian, an alien, a foreigner. My only culture is to be a conformer. Ginger is from my ancestors, once Chinese, but now Hong Kongers. They are fighting for their rights and freedoms. They thought they had democracy, but now only left with democracy. Hong Kong is leased land. Canada is stolen land. My identity is mixed, not Chinese, not fully Canadian either. Perhaps it is like chai, never perfect until fully mixed. Sugar, spice, and good company. Huh, theek hai, acha. When you order chai in Canada, always ask for milk and sugar, but don't expect any extra ginger. At the end of the day, what we get is what we give. Democracy means diversity. Diversity means we are from different places. A perfect blend of sugar and spices. Huh, theek hai, acha. All right, so that was poem number 1, and that was what I presented at International Youth Day in Delhi. And moving along, I took a photo of a women's only sign because in India, it is a huge issue to have safe spaces for women and girls in public. And so there's a lot of initiatives, a lot of government mandated programs and laws where women are given spaces to be in public in a safe way. And so, for example, the sign that I took was at a train station where the first card of every train is reserved for women. And on the buses, women, there's seating where it's only reserved for women. And actually, right before I left Delhi, the government mandated that women get to ride for free on all buses. So if you were a female identifying person, then you got to ride the bus for free. And that was in order to really push for women and girls to feel safe in public, which is a huge issue. When I was in India, there weren't very many spaces where it wasn't dominated by men. Like, it took a while for me to get used to it, but if I sat in any other train other than the women's only train, I was surrounded by men. And as a female, it can feel very unsafe. And so they've designated areas for just women and girls to be in and to sit in. And so I wrote another poem that Indigenous youth here in Victoria had led me in a session. a poetry writing session in. And it was at the the Provincial Moose Hide Campaign Day of Fasting. And I attended a workshop that was led by Indigenous youth from the local high schools, and they led us into a poetry writing session, a session that made us think about what it's like to live in a world where women and girls feel safe. And so we all wrote some poems or just some words or a short story about what that looks like, a world where women and girls feel safe. So this is a poem that I wrote, and I thought it was really fitting when it comes to my experience in India as well, because India is also trying to create safer spaces for women and girls. And so the poem is called What Does It Take? Women, we take on so much. We take on too much. We take care of the children. We take care of the chores. We feed and we breastfeed. We cook and we clean. Most of all, we love. We love so much, and we love too much. Sometimes our love and our loves hurt us. It breaks our hearts and it breaks our bones. It bleeds our brains. They are not just sticks and stones. Who can protect us? Who can make us safe? What will comfort us? What will stop the pain? They say it takes a community to raise a child, and it takes a community to mourn a death, but it also takes a community to protect women and girls. So that's the end. It's kind of short, but in the last slide of that poem, I posted a photo of me and some women and a young man behind me, and that his name is Mohit. And so that was our gender and sexuality team, and they were delivering sexual health curriculum in a state called Haryana in Delhi. And Rohit, he is actually a rap artist, and so he was working with the team to rap about sexuality and sex ed topics and safer spaces for women and girls, and so it was just kind of another image of how things can be taught in creative ways and how research can be done in creative ways, in ways that can help the community be able to access it better and more like easier accessibility, creative means and methods. And so, yeah, he was a really big, really big, what do you call it, team player in it too. Okay, so moving along, the third project that I was part of in PRIA was called Youth and Democracy, and they were a university fellowship program run by youth and done for youth and created for youth, done by youth, led by youth, created for youth. And so I had the opportunity to develop some of the curriculum for this fellowship program and also participate in it. And one of the photos you see is a Frisbee game that we did. And so we were using kind of sports and physical activity as a way to do research and engage with our bodies and with each other, and how we can use sports as an outlet to reach communities and to teach something. So I wrote a poem when I came back from India. I came back from India back in January, and this was when the Indigenous youth were trying to protect the lands on the Wet'suwet'en and Unistoten lands. And so there was a lot going on politically at the time here in Canada, and I had just come back from India and still carrying some of that political baggage too, and political, I guess, tension with me. And so I wrote a poem as a way to debrief and also connect my two experiences. And so the poem is called So It Shall Be. I wrote it in a way where it's kind of like a prayer or a meditation. And so at the end of each stanza, I have 3 words that I repeat over and over again. and to explain what those words mean before I begin the poem.